So, I really am just surprised that this has to be said, but it's going to be said. No one should go after or attack or be mean to or say anything to Zach Taylor's family, his kids, his friends, anyone related to him. For how, he coaches on the field, how he calls offensive play calls. You should not go after any of his family or friends. That is beyond football. That is disgusting acts. That is absolutely unacceptable. Well, here's what his wife said on Instagram. Okay. She said, "I'm in rage mode right now." And by the way, shout out to Eric Howland for posting this. "I'm in rage mode right now and should delete Instagram. I just want people to know how hard this is to watch. My husband went to work on Monday at 5:15 a.m. Spent the night at the stadium. Came home Tuesday at 11 p.m. Left for Baltimore Wednesday and will get home at 4 a.m. tomorrow. He'll work all day tomorrow because they have a game on Sunday. My kids haven't seen him since Sunday. He had the perfect game plan. Brooks was mad at me for watching the last play with my head under the covers and said, 'I'm sorry. People will say stuff to me everywhere I go for the next week.' And he said, 'Me too, Mom. Get over it. I don't know how these coaches and players do it, but the best thing I can do is move on like them.'" Well, the way they do it is, let me just show you this real fast. That's how they do it. That's how much Coach Taylor has made from being a Cincinnati Bengals coach since 2019. That's how they do it. Now, keep in mind, there are taxes that are taken out of it every year, but there's a lot of jobs out there, I know, personally, and you guys probably know as well, that what she just said schedule-wise is nothing. Is nothing. And Taylor gets paid $4.5 million per year. Okay? I'm not gonna get on coaches and say oh, what they do isn't, difficult or isn't hard to do. But they get paid $4.5 million a year, right? So you get paid handsomely for the work you're putting in. I know personally, I've done jobs where I'm working 80, 90 hours a week and I'm getting paid 25, 30 grand a year, right? So you're getting paid $4.5 million. I'm always kind of iffy about those things when it comes to schedule because you working schedule. Now, time away from your kids, that's priceless. There's no price you could be making that's worth being away from your family. But that's just how life is, It sucks, it really does. But I know there's people out there. I used to work with a guy who would work every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and only get to see his kids on Saturday and Sunday because he would work 12, 13 hour shifts every single day. And it really does suck. It does. And then his wife would work the opposite times that he wasn't working. And, that's just a part of life. It really does suck that you can't see your kids, and it sucks for that. But that's a job or profession you went into. Most people go into that job because they need it, because they need the supply for their kids and their family, right? They don't have an option here. In reality, I know, all jokes aside, if this is really getting to this point, Coach Taylor should retire. If his wife is going through all this and all this stuff is happening, then coach, just retire, man. If you put your family first, dude, you made over, again, after taxes, probably $18 million. You made over $18 million, coach. Right now, it's the fans are obviously upset with you and all the stuff going. But if your wife is saying this on social, again, nobody attack her or the family, not at all. But coach, just retire, man. You got $18 million, dude. $18 million. You know, I don't want him fired. I don't want Coach Taylor fired. I want him no longer to be the offense coordinator. I want to replace him as the offense coordinator. But again, if your wife's going through this and, you know, you, as she said, you haven't seen your son since Sunday because obviously you're a football coach, that's a part of signing up to be a football coach. That's just how it goes. With being a coach, you're not going to be able to see your family a lot. You know, 7 months of the year, you're going to be football. The rest of the 5 months, you're with your family, right? But if your wife doesn't, like, if your wife is going through things because of that, then just retire. I mean, like, I don't know, like, you made $18 million, you know, and I don't know, maybe we'll get another coach. Again, I don't want him fired, but we'll get another coach who maybe is an offensive-minded coach, you know, or someone, maybe Bill Belichick, right? But again, like, disgusting, like I said before, that someone would go after his wife or kids or in any way possible. What he does on the field and him being good or bad at coaching has nothing to do with his family in any way possible. Just focus on him, okay? He's the guy who, if you want to blame anyone, you blame him, not his family. But again, you know, I do feel bad. The hours he works, I can't get too much into that because, again, like I said, he's getting paid handsomely for that. And that's a part of the job he signed up to do, right? It sucks, though. I understand it sucks being away from your family, right? But that's just how it is. And I think a lot of blue-collar people, blue-collar job people understand that, you know? It's one of those things where you feel bad for it, but it's just as a part of life. But again, you know, if he wants to retire, he can retire. If he wants to go out and say, hey, I want to spend time with my wife and kids, then you can retire. You know, will that stuff ever stop of people going after his family? I think it would. It definitely will. There will still be people who do it, but I think it will happen a lot less if he retired, right? Because a lot less people would be like, oh, well, yeah, Coach Taylor, oh, yeah, he's an old ex-coach, right? But in this moment right now, with us being 4-6, you're going to get that. And again, like I said, it's not right. But there's heinous people out there who would just say whatever because they can't talk to Coach, they'll talk to his family. But if that's getting to a point where it's really that bad, I think that you should retire, personally. And that's not because I think you're a bad coach or anything. I think you're a great coach. I think you're great. You know, you're great for this team. We love you, man. We do. But I'm just saying, if it gets to a point like that, you got to kind of look at your priorities and say, okay, well, what's better for me here? Is it better for me to be coach? My family is upset. My family's going through it. People are attacking my family. I gotten paid $18 million already. You know, I'm set for life. I never have to work again. Or is it better to deal and keep doing what you're doing, right? And even though this is a very important job for him, obviously he loves being coach, I think you have to set some things aside and think, what's the most important thing here, right? This job isn't, you're not doing this job because you need to pay the bills, right? This is, you're past that point. You're $18 million past that point. And again, $18 million, he probably spent a lot of that money on his house, kids, and all that kind of stuff. You know, living isn't cheap, okay? It's expensive. But I would assume he has at least a couple million left, right? So you're not doing this job because you're like, oh, I need to put food on the table, right? You just got an extension through 2026 of $4.5 million. So yeah, please don't attack his family or his kids. But yeah, I'm kind of torn, like I said, because like, it's just sad. It's sad that she's going through this and his kids are going through this, and that stuff needs to stop 100%. It does. Peace out.